Hello, it's Caroline at For the Love of Crochet, and I have a lovely group of things that I made based off a challenge I started. But I also have some interesting news that some communication I shared with a designer that I'd like to share with you as well. And let's just get into it. If you're new here, I'm Caroline and I share all my makes and tips and anything that I learn along the way to encourage and inspire you for the love of crochet, hence the name. And so I would so love it if you could join us and subscribe and like and share. That would be much appreciated. And let's just start. So I will showcase. I had these 5 skeins of yarn. I didn't like this yarn because it's very tiny and it's cotton, and the texture on it is very different than my acrylic. Let me show you. So this one was made with a cotton yarn and this one was made with acrylic yarn, and I really like the effect of the acrylic. I think it just defines his face so much better. It covers any holes or gaps, whereas the cotton yarn, I used a very tight stitch, and I'm a stitch crocheter. I'm a tight crocheter, and I just didn't get quite the effect, even like where it's expanding here. But with the acrylic, it just covers it so much better. So I don't like cotton as much as I like acrylic for toys. I'll put these back. So anyways, I had purchased these cotton yarns because so many people talk highly of them, so I decided to give them a try. Turns out I didn't like them. And so I had quite a few skeins that I wanted to get rid of. Okay, so with that yarn, I've made quite a few things. And if you saw in the thumbnail, let me just start with the tiniest. Okay, so this is a puppy bean. Look how tiny. I don't even think it's bigger than my thumb. This is a little puppy bean, and I believe you can get this free, but also you can pay for it on her Etsy shop, and all the links will be down below. I don't remember them all by name. So this is a puppy bean, and this is really cute. And when I last went to a market, and his little tail. Last time I went to a market, somebody fell in love with these little things, and I had just made it out of scrap yarn. And yeah, so it's really cute. It's very tiny. So that's one. I had 5 skeins to work with. Okay, and then this is a pattern by KhucCay, I believe, and then we're going to talk about her later. So this is the pattern by KhucCay, and this is supposed to be an octopus. It's actually only supposed to have 8 legs, but I think I ended up with 12, so that's all right. It's very cute. This was a very cute pattern. And of course you could dress it up and give it a mouth and maybe give it a top hat or whatever you'd like to do. But this was a very simple pattern. So that is by KhucCay, I believe. Okay, and then you had a little sneak peek at this. I bought this as a pack, and it came with, I believe, 20 patterns. And after a closer look, all of the patterns have the same body style. So they'll have the legs out here, this big belly, and then the shape of the head. They all have that similar shaping or body style, and then she just changes up the yarn or the designs of the face or hair pieces or whatever the attachments. So it has a basic body style. So I didn't feel like I could make another one because this one took up quite a bit of yarn. I was thinking it would come out this size, but it didn't. I underestimated that. And so this one came out quite thick. She reminds me of that little Polly Pocket. I mentioned her in a previous video, but I haven't finished her in that one. So now she is done, but I didn't make her bag that she goes in because I was working with those 5 skeins. I knew that would take a lot of yarn to make the little pocket, so I didn't want to use this yarn for that. But she is done. I forgot to give her rosy cheeks. I always do that. I liked making this. This was very cute. Very cute. Okay, so that's 3. And this one is a little out of the box. A pig in a blanket. So I loved this. Now I have been spying this little pattern off of Etsy for some time, and I have not made it yet. I mean, I've been eyeing this baby for about a year, and I had never bought the pattern. I kept looking for it as a free pattern. I figured, you know what, maybe I'll just make a pig and I'll make a granny square and I'll just make it myself. But I just never did it, and opportunity arose with these little skeins of yarn, so I decided to go for it, and it's a piggy in a blanket. Isn't that adorable? Okay, now it could be reading error on my part. You can only get this pattern on Ravelry, I believe, and again, links are all down below. If I forget anything, just message me and I'll put it down. The only thing I did not like about this pattern were the ears. I felt confused on how to design these ears, and maybe it's because there's a right and a left. I don't know, but that was the only part I was slightly confused on. But look at also, I just thought, oh, this granny square is going to be easy, right? It is easy, but she did explain it perfectly. But look at that. It's a rectangle. So my colors, again, are the pink. I got to use all of them for this one. The pink, the white, the gray, the blue. Oh, I didn't use the tan. Okay, so I almost used all the colors for this one. And just look at this little piggy. It's so cute. Now, you can take this off this way by sliding it off, but I did stitch this together, and I think it's perfect. That way you can slide it on and off, and it's attached rather than a button. I don't think a button would do too good here unless it was small. But yes, so it's one long rectangle. Isn't that so neat? I was floored by this. It's so cute. I think this would be a very simple pattern to make. There's no tutorial, anything. It's just a pattern off Ravelry. And I think this would be a great seller at a market. What do you think? Anyways, so this is object number 4. I have 2 projects left that I made. Well, technically 3. I have 2. Okay, so I have a few projects left after completing those 4. I still had some yarn left, and I decided to look up something in here because I have been doing lots of bunny patterns. And so I hit up this book because it has 2 bunny patterns. So here we have this cute little bunny, and this one would come out small, and they actually use the yarn that I'm using for this challenge, which is the sheepjes catona cotton. Anyway, so this was going to be small. I was only going to need a little bit of white and a little bit of another color for the thing. I, of course, had blue, so I was going to use blue, and I did have a little bit of pink left, and so I thought this would work perfectly. Well, I started working this pattern and felt like I wasn't getting the right stitches or the right amount. And it just wasn't working out. I had finished all of the limbs and I started to work on the body part, and the numbers just weren't adding up. Well, so I have previously worked in this book and have heard 2 other YouTubers comment on this one. I made this little girl before and didn't have a problem at all, and all the stitches and everything was great. But a couple of other YouTubers had made the little April girl, said that they worked this pattern and that they found problems with the legs and that the hook didn't change, they weren't told to change the hook on the hair piece or the dress piece, so they weren't fitting properly. And so, I mean, they complained about this pattern quite a bit, that it was very troublesome for them. And so I was thinking, okay, well, maybe based off those two, I started to work that bunny pattern, the little mini bunny pattern, and it just wasn't working out. And I thought, oh, this must be another mistake. And so I had just made quite a bit of pieces on it. I made all the limbs and didn't have a problem except for the feet. I was having problems with the feet. And then, so I chucked it and I unraveled it and I'm like, okay, forget it. I'm not going to do this pattern. I'm not going to stress myself out about a pattern if I can't figure it out. So I went on to the next bunny pattern and I decided, okay, this has a little more white maybe, but it has these clothes. So I can definitely use the other colors that I was using to, you know, not use so much white because I'm trying to stay within my little 5 skeins. So I started to work this pattern and the same thing was happening. I was having a hard time with the shape of the footing right here. So they're like a boot and it just wasn't working out. But I was able to work it out because this boot part is so small. I thought, well, I'll just manage. I know what the shaping I'm supposed to get. So I did work it out and I just did it. And I tried to remember what I did with the first one so I could do it to the second foot. And then I continued working the pattern. As you could tell, I mean, there's no shaping on the legs or the arms. And then the body's going to be simple enough. The head's simple enough. And then the ears are simple enough. So I went ahead and worked it out. But I kept having problems. And so I just messaged the designer and said, you know what, maybe it's the book. I reached out to her. She emailed me within 30 minutes and she said, what are you having trouble with? What version do you have of this book? She goes, because we've actually corrected all of them and have reissued the book and made all the corrections necessary, and I've been making all the patterns without a problem. And I'm like, well, I keep having problems. I had it with the little bunny, the big bunny, and then I heard that the little April girl had feet problem, or the pattern in the feet. And she reached out to me and she said, okay, tell me what row, what page you're on, as I was working this bigger bunny. And lo and behold, she just cleared it all up for me. It was a matter of, had I read the beginning of the book where it says stitch, so she has a very thorough part in the book where she has special stitches, adjusting your stitches, techniques used, basics, and general information, as well as warnings and safety tips and crochet terminology. And I was misreading her single crochet decrease, which was why I was having a problem with my number of stitches. But nonetheless, she cleared it up with me and I was able to work this pattern like a dream, and there you go. So yes, KhucCay, who was also the designer of this little guy, but again, you know, I'm not reading the pattern correctly. And so great designer, very helpful. And so if you have a problem, reach out to her and she will help you. Or you could read the beginning of the book and really cover your bases. I had made this little girl without a problem from that book. And I don't know how I was able to read this one differently or better, but nonetheless, I made this little girl. She's going to make a special gift for my niece. And I'm actually working that again. So you'll be seeing this one in different colors. But I made this little cutie. So these were my colors. Again, the only thing I left out was the beige, which is probably why I have so much beige left. It came out gorgeous. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I loved it in the green colors, but these were the colors I was working out with, and look, it's just adorable. So yeah, I'm very excited about how this turned out. And so I've been working on all my bunnies, right? I've been doing every bunny pattern I own, and I'm not done. I got more. So this one is so cute. I just loved it. I loved it. Now there's no stuffing in the arms, and this little piece can come off. As I said in the earlier, I did like it in the green, but I didn't have greens as part of my skein challenge. So I made, yeah, so here's the feet. So I did not go back and fix these. I just stuck with what I had already done, which was the way I worked it. And as you can tell, I always get one foot bigger than the other. Don't matter if I do it immediately, right after, do all the limbs. It always happens that way. And here I have the ears, here's the back. And these little pants do not have suspenders, and you can stitch them on. All I did was give it one little stitch just to make sure they weren't gonna fall. But I love these little bloomers. I don't know if you, the body style is pretty plain. You know, there's no big belly shaping, it's just slightly. So this was a very cute, very cute. I adored this little bunny. It's so sweet. Okay, and I'm not done. This one, oh gosh, look at, she has a baby, or he. You could totally do a mommy and me. Look at that. So I was trying to finish up some of that beige yarn and again finish off my colors, and I did this little tiny baby one, and this was a lot of fun when it came out. It was so cute. I did blush these cheeks and these cheeks. They really do make a big difference when you blush the cheeks. And then I tried to give her like she had a little sachet just to change up the color. So yeah, look at. It's so darling. So darling. I just loved it. So yes, I have one. I was keeping all my projects right here. So I have these two. This little puppy bean. 3, 4, 5, and 6. But it doesn't end there, folks. Okay, so I had this one great pattern, and it was gonna come out phenomenal, and I ran out of yarn. And I will show you a final picture of what this is going to look like. My final piece that I had to stop and not finish. It's so cute. It was gorgeous, and it was coming out so nicely. Okay, so here is mine, and I did finish all the body, all the legs, except one leg. I did not get to finish. And here is the flower for its little hind here. So I got to make everything except for one leg and his ears. I think that's all I have left. So I'm ordering one skein. My favorite place to order from is Love Crafts. I put in an order, and within 24 hours they have shipped it. Every time. I've ordered there 3 times, and they ship it immediately. So I just placed my order yesterday. I sent some coupons. If you want some coupons, send me your email, because I order from there and it says offer a friend 20% off or 30% off, whatever it is. So if you would like if you would like me to email you my coupon code, send me your email in my email, and I will list my email down below. So I'm getting one more skein of this so I can finish this because it is coming out so cool. So neat. I just loved it. Okay. So as for what I have left, I tried to work, I know I could fit a bear, but I kind of just fizzled out. So this is what I have left, folks. This beige, a little remnants of white, and this little bit of the blue, and one little string of pink. That is all I have left. So I think I did my challenge pretty well. I mean, I got rid of the skeins, and boy, did I find some awesome projects to make with them. And two of my favorite are those bunnies and this pig in a blanket. I mean, it's just so cool. And then I just fell in love with this bunny pattern. Did it take the place of my other favorite? This is my absolute favorite. And does it take the place of this? Not really. I actually love them both equally, but I really like this one for its sweetness, but I really love this one for all the style and pizzazz it has and the colors. I just think, wow, you could turn when my daughter saw this, she thought it looked like a clown, like I should add clown. And I believe you can add flowers to this as well, but I chose not to do the flowers because I was working with these colors. And I didn't have any pink left anyway. Oh, and I didn't have, it's supposed to have like these little flowers on here, but I saw that KS Mom had artificial flowers that you can add, and so I was gonna do that instead and glue on those little pretty flowers that you can get at the flower, to decorate stuff with. So I'm gonna do that, and then maybe even put some on, and then I think I'll add the little teeny flowers to her too, and give her a little flower on her hair or her head. Hair. I'll give her flowers, and then maybe a little flower down here as well, so they'll be matching. Mommy, daughter, mommy and baby bunny, mommy and me. Oh, it's so cute. So yeah, that is a wrap. I sure hope you enjoyed this challenge. I get these challenges from Craftably Ever After. Cassandra, she is just a joy to watch. She picks the most challenging things to do and works them up. And she actually, I know I've been doing every bunny pattern. She's actually working every teddy bear pattern. A lot of teddy bears. And she works them out in different weights and seeing how she likes them. And so, yeah, she's a lot of fun to watch. So thank you so much for joining me, and see you soon. Bye.